Okay, I guess everybody joined. So let's start with the today's topic, Light LLM. So what is Light LLM and why are we using Light LLM? So I think many of you guys have used multiple AI models, ChatGPT, Gemini, all of those things for your assignments, for your codes, all of those things. So we have different companies which has different types of models, and that models have different types of capabilities also. So if I go to OpenAI, they have ChatGPT 5 models, and inside 5 models that will be GPT 5 mini, ChatGPT 5.3, chat latest, and all of those. Some models provide you thinking capability, some models doesn't, based on what you are going to pay to them basically. So there are different types of models which provides you different capabilities, and those models are going to be used for different task purposes. Some models will be good on research purposes, such as perplexity models. They are used mostly for research purposes. If you want to do high complex tasks or coding, you are going to use Anthropic Claude models, Sonnet or Opus. So these models have different parameters, different capabilities, and all of those things. So coming up with my presentation, so I have prepared a presentation for you guys, and I'm going to start with what is Light LLM is. And the thing is that the Light LLM is basically provides you an unified API, which is based on the Python SDK, and it is an open source tool, which means everything is pre-built and every code is written. So we don't need to change any code to connect with different models. It is very easy to use. So it provides a unified API. It provides us an unified API which has multiple numbers of providers, and we can use Open API format call. So we have this in on our environment playtest tab, prod and native prod. So I will show you in playtest. So we have this Light LLM. The version we are using is 83.10. And here you can see there are virtual keys, playground, and different models we have set it up. You can see all the models which we have set it up. We have ChatGPT Open API models, Claude models, and we have uh, Llama, Olama models, and all of those things. So, okay. So, Light LLM, why we use it is an unified API which is based on the Python SDK. It is an open source tool. And with this tool, we are able to connect with different multiple providers without writing any of the logics. Okay. So it provides us an unified API where we can create the credentials of the Light LLMs, different credentials. And the best thing is that we do not need to expose any API keys. It creates an virtual API keys for us that we can use in our application so that we can use our stuffs. Okay. Moving forward, so as I told, it is an Python SDK plus proxy server that lets you call every major LLM providers using a single OpenAI compatible request. It provides 100 plus LLM supported. It has a OpenAI compatible API, and it is open source licensed by MIT, and it has 20K plus GitHub stars and okay. So why teams adopt Light LLM? Multi-provider AI infrastructure used to mean glue code, brittle SDKs, and zero visibility, right? Light LLM replace all of that. Different SDKs per provider. Now, if I want to ask you questions, if you want to use Gemini, where you are going to go? You are going to go to Google Anti-Gravity or some Google SDKs, or you are going to open a Google Studio, and then from there you are going to have select the models and use Google models, right? If anti-gravity also provides cloud models as well, but it expires very quickly and all of those things. But the main thing is that whenever you want to use any of the models, they have their own different platforms, they have their own different things, right? So if you want to use ChatGPT, you are going to open ChatGPT. If you are going to use Google, you are going to use Open Google and all of those things. If you are going to use Claude, you are going to use Claude website or Claude code and all of those things, right? With LiteLLM, we do not need to do that. It is going to handle all of those things at one place. It is going to give us as a unified API, which means we do not need to manage anything at all. It is going to do it for us. We do not need to write code as per the providers. We do not need to change anything. If any of the model we want to use, we can directly add it either by configuration or either by from the UI. It is just as that easy. We do not need to write any codes. We do not need to write anything. We do not need to change the logic of it. It comes pre-built in. So it is like a connector which can connect to different models, model providers. It supports all of those things. So the main thing is here you are going to see these credentials. Okay, here, LLM credentials. Here, what we do is we add a credential. Suppose if I want to add a credential, I will give a friendly name like OpenAI. Then I need to select a providers. Now, if you see this list is very big and it is still adding. Okay, I can select Anthropic, suppose, and in Anthropic, I can select which API base I'm going to use, where the proxy will forward the upstream request and then the API key. That's it. Once I add the credentials, I can go to the models. I can add the models. Okay. For adding the models, what I want you to do is just go to the add models, select a provider which you have added, suppose Anthropic. Choose the model. Anthropic will give you a lot of models which is they're using. If I want to use Claude, I'm going to search for Claude. I can see Claude 4, 4.5, 4.6, 4.7, and all of those things. I will choose Claude Sonnet 4.6. Then instead of calling as Claude Sonnet 4.6, I will give a public model name, which should be a user-friendly name. So I will give it as Claude Sonnet latest. Okay. Then there is a mode, which types of model it is. So I will choose chat or completions. Both will work for this model. Then the credentials which I have added, suppose Anthropic. Then I will test that model. Testing successful. Then if the testing is successful, I will add that model. Once I will add that model will add it into my server, into my LiteLLM. I will do it in front of you. So I have added this model, okay, Claude Sonnet latest. Now if I see in all models, I can see the team which I have created. I will get back to the team afterwards, but let's check for the model. I have a filter. I can directly search Claude. There are many Claude models which I have added. Let's search for the specific one, Claude Sonnet latest. Okay. So in Claude Sonnet latest also we have different models. This model is Claude Sonnet latest, but under it you can see this is using 4.5, right? We need to use 4.61. Now, how do we test that this model is working? To test this, that model is working, we need to go to the playground. If you go to the playground, you need to select a model and search for Claude Sonnet latest. When you go here, you need to give a prompt. Suppose explain quantum computing. When you hit on enter, it is going to give you the response. That's how you are going to test whether your model is working or not. And what is the total latency, what is the input tokens it takes, what is the output tokens it takes, everything. It provides this, and more than this, it will also provide you the MCP servers if it is available. You can create and use multiple tags. You can also have guardrails into it, everything. You can test with everything. And I can clear the chat. I can get the code also if I wanted. So this is how we add the models if we want to add into the LLM credentials, and we add the models one by one. It's just that easy. Understood. So if any of the applications wants to use these models, how they are going to use it? Okay. So suppose I deployed something. I will show you. It's an open source tool called as Superbase. So there I have added this model, one model which I am using. It's in humanized IQ development. how these models are going to connect with our stuff. So I will show you that. This is my Superbase tag. Okay. Here you can see there is LiteLLM base URL and LiteLLM model I am using. And in the base URL, I am just going to put this base URL there. And I am going to put the LiteLLM model name. Okay, the model name should be a friendly name which I have gave. So for I am using Gemini Flash latest for this particular case, and I have inputted that and I have updated this tag. Now this is been used by something, a project which I have deployed it. Suppose this, I don't know which login I could say. No, that is wrong. What is this? Let's sign it up. Test user or test user. Okay, once it is loaded, currently it is using A-Team LiteLLM. So I will go to A-Team LiteLLM and I will show you how everything worked. If I open it, there's a section logs, and if I just go here, reports, this is that bot. I clicked into it. It is going to send the request to my LiteLLM and get the response from the LiteLLM back. So this is the response which I get. And if I want to see the logs, I can see the logs here. It uses this model, Gemini Flash Lite 3.1. What is the, it uses which endpoint, a completion endpoint, what is the tokens, what is the duration, what is the cost breakdown, what is the request and response, everything. This is not from my, this should be, this is, no. Call ID, call ID. So there are many requests are happening here. 3, 4, 5. But you get the idea, right? So I can see each and every logs which is going through here, and I can read the logs and I can see, okay, what were the requests and what are the responses happening here. And it automatically has a live tail option enabled. So every request and every response is going through here. And also we can see not only the usage, we can also see the, not only the logs, we can also see the usage. So I can see the global usage, how much spent has been done, what would be the total request, what is the successful request, what is the failed request, what is the model activity. I can see the key activity, what keys have been used mostly, which has been used, which key used, how many requests, everything I can see. So it gives me a better transparency and better visibility too as well. It provides me all of these things. It provides inbuilt. I do not need to create those graphs. I do not need to do anything at all. It provides me add to credentials. It provides me adding models. It provides me to show those logs. It provides me to show this usage. Everything, it is inbuilt. I just need to plug and play. So you get the idea. So basically without LiteLLM, we have different SDK per provider, no spend or usage visibility, hard-coded vendor lock-in, manual failover and retries, inconsistent logs across teams. Here we have one open API compatible call shape, per key spend budget, switch models by changing a string, built-in fallbacks and load balancing, unified logs to LangFuse. You are going to learn LangFuse. You can also integrate LangFuse with it. It has we can use two-way LiteLLM. Either we can use in Python library or a centralized gateway server for entire organization. Anyone is saying something? Okay. So either we can import the library directly into any of the app with one function, or we can basically self-host this into our own server. So I showed you yesterday also that we have self-hosting this LiteLLM into our server. So if I go here, this is the LiteLLM stack, which you can see. And also you can see Redis. Redis is for caching purposes I've implemented so that it doesn't got too many requests at once. And also yesterday I told you that for some of the applications we are using rate limiting so that it wouldn't go out of control. It wouldn't drop it down if there are so many requests that it is not able to handle. So if I want to show you LiteLLM config, so this is a configuration which it is using. So it has it is storing logs into the DB, it is storing model into the DB, it has database timeout, database connection, pool, overflow, all of those things, health and all of those things. And here you can see max request per minute. So per minute, it will allow only 1,000 requests. So it has also fallbacks added, and it has also timeout added. So if the model is not responding, suppose more than 120 seconds, it will give the timeout, and it will try 2 times. Otherwise, if it will throw that error. So it has also routing strategies too. So in the upcoming slide, I will tell you how those works and how it is added. The thing that is to know is that it is a unified API. It has 100 providers and one interface. So it has Frontier Labs, OpenAPI, Anthropic, Gemini, Mistral, Cohere, Grok, Cloud Hyperscales, Azure. You can also integrate with Azure. I did it. If you see, we also have Azure integrated. So Azure provides AI models to you can use from Azure as well. So if you go in model sections here, in the LLM credentials, you can see Azure is added. And if you go to the all models, you can see some of the ChatGPT models are coming from Azure. Okay. So you can use these models from Azure also. And AWS Bedrock, Vertex, SageMaker, Databricks, IBM, Watson, so many of the things like different companies. And also you can use self-hosted. If you heard about OpenLlama, Hugging Face, and all of those, you can add those models as well, and Open Router too. So one call shape any model, swap providers by changing the model string. So either you can add the models as a configuration and change the model there, or you can manage all the things from UI. So we are managing all the things from UI, so we do not need to hard code anything. We are just going to use the LiteLLM base URL and just LiteLLM model. That's it. And that also we are using model friendly names. We are not using the LiteLLM model names to call. We are using the public model name. So how it works, web app internal tools is going to call the LiteLLM proxy. LiteLLM proxy is going to route to the chat completion models, or what is the model type it is. Then it will search for the providers. Okay, this is the provider for that model, and it is going to give you the response. Simple as that. Now coming to the smart routing and load balancing. So this is a very good stuff that LiteLLM provides us. So we can also define model groups across many deployments. And if we define multiple model groups, what it allows the routing strategies. So there are multiple routing strategies that we can use. We can use simple shuffle, random pick across health deployments, list busy, routes to the lowest in-flight request count, usage based on the least usage, it is going to route the model, latency based, picks fastest deployment over rolling window, and cost based. Always select the cheapest model meeting criteria. So these are the 5 routing strategies that we can use, and I will show you those strategies also. So if I go here, and if I go to these settings, here you can see the routing settings. So here I can include the timeout in seconds. I can retry after how many times. I have number of retries has been set it up to. Cooldown time is 5. Allowed fails is 3. I currently it is using simple shuffle for load balancing. I can switch it to least busy, usage based routing, latency based routing, and cost based routing. Any of them if I wanted to. Based on that, it will work. Then I can also add the fallbacks. Suppose if you are using anti-gravity, you will see that error that model is being used very highly, or model is is not able to give you answer current at the current moment, right? Heavy demand usage, something like that. In anti-gravity, it is happening most of the time with the models. So we don't want to provide that experience to any of the users. So what we will do, if one model is failing, it will not give that error. It will tell LiteLLM, hey, this model isn't working. Then LiteLLM will search, okay, for this model, do we have any fallbacks? Yes, I will find 3 fallbacks. Let me try first one fallback. Okay, this fallback works. I will send the reply this to that application or to that client. So what it will do, it will go through the fallbacks, and if one of my model will fail, it will get the answer to the another model. So that's how fallback will work. So if you see in the here, we have added for some of the models, we have added one fallback. For some of the models, we have added multiple fallbacks. So if Gemini Flash latest fail, it will go to the Flashlight latest, then ChatGPT latest, then ChatGPT mini latest. What it does, which means if if these 4 models are failing, then we are going to get the error. Otherwise, it is going to succeed. So fallback is going to save the user experience, and also save the things in the production. So currently there is something called as resume builder, which teams people are using it for their resume formatting and all of those things. So they are using Gemini Flash latest models. And sometimes what happens is key Gemini will not able to provide the answers. So if Gemini model fails, it will go to the another Gemini Flashlight model. If that also didn't work out, it will go to the ChatGPT latest. Now, I know I have added this fallback and I want to test it out, but I don't want to test it out and directly into the production. How can I test it out without touching the production? So there is also an option to test the fallbacks to in the LiteLLM itself. So if you see here, there is a test fallback icon. I can click on test fallback icon and it will give me the response. Okay, Gemini Flash latest to Gemini Flashlight preview, it gone. So I can see the cull, it will give me the cull options too. So it sent the request to Gemini Flash latest, and it fails that request to check whether the Flashlight latest fallback will work or not, and it get the response from. So that's how it is working. Whenever you add the fallbacks, it is going to tell you to select the primary model. I select ChatGPT latest. Then it will tell you the maximum fallback you can add is 10 at a time, and you can add based on the priority. If I add Cloud Opus, Cloud Haiku, can you see the number 1, 2, 3? Based on these numbers, it is going to call the models. So that's how we are using fallbacks. Understood?
Yes.
So as I told you, fallbacks, retries, and timeouts. Never let a single provider outrage or break your product. Configurable retries. Also, we are having some of the retries timeout things, 120 seconds. The model shouldn't keep. The thing is that if the why timeout is necessary, if the model is stuck, then the thing is that the user will never able to get the reply, and we do not want that. So if it is not able to provide anything or provide anything with the reply, what it is going to do, it is going to check, okay, it has been more than 120 seconds, and then it will automatically fail that request, and it will go to the another model and tries to see whether they are going to able to fetch the response from that model or not. If it is able to fetch that response, it is going to give the response to the client back. So that's how it works. So we have added fallbacks, we have added timeout conditions, we have added retries, we have added all sorts of things which will provide us consistency throughout the whole thing. So this is done. So cost tracking and budgets. So the thing is that this also provides us real time spent visibility per key user and model with budget enforcement. We can see live spend tracking per request cost in headers and logs, and built-in pricing for every supported models. We can check daily, weekly, and all of those things, and we can track the teams and user attribution. So how we are going to do that? If I go here, I showed you a section, something called as usage, right? If you go ahead, you can see the total spend. But this is a global usage. I don't want to see a global usage. I want to see based on my organization or based on the team. So if I go to the team, I have multiple teams, humanize IQ applications, e-team, our consumer. So if I go to the e-team applications, what e-team applications are using? It is showing zero. Why it is showing zeros? Because in the time range, it is selecting 28 to 4 June. But I don't want that. I want, suppose we are going to give it 015 2026 to 30/5/2026 from May 1 to May 30. Let's apply it. Okay. So ATM Inc. application is $0.03. Total request is 2. Successful request is 2. Why there is so small? Because this is playtest. If I show you the same way in ATM production, they are using it every minute. So if I show you here, you are going to see the global usage at this 166 some dollars. Then you are going to see successful request and failed request and how many total tokens they have used. Now, if I filter it out, I can filter it out by the person name, or I can go better to go to the team usage, and I will select eTeam Inc. And I can select multiple team too, eTeam Inc. and eTeam Inc. applications. Okay, so in eTeam Inc. and eTeam Inc. applications, they have $16.49 something spent. And if I remove this, and if I added consumer, we have 144 something dollars spent. Total request is this, and successful request and fail request is this. Now, if I want to see the daily spend, I can see the daily spend 28 May. It is the daily spend of 28 May. 29 May is this. 30 May is this. 31 is this. Everything. I can check the daily spend. Because the filter is from 28 to 4. If I set it up filter here also same way. T 2026. You will see from first. Can you see? This spend by team, consumer, total request, failed, successful, everything you are able to see. Not only this, you are going to see top virtual keys. So who are the people who is used most of the keys? So Raj is the person who is using most of it, kind of. And you are going to see which models spent how much and what is the successful request. So here we are using GPT-5 mini a lot and Gemini Flash latest a lot. Then I have a provider usage where I can see which providers have we have spent and what is the successful request and failed request and how many tokens we have spent. Open API this, Gemini this, and Grok as this. It is going to show me like this. I can shift it to chart view if I wanted to. Like it will show me at any way. And you can also select model activity. You can see these graphs and all of those things. You can pick any of the models and you can see the tokens and all of these things particular to that model. So this gives us the total transparency, and we can also export and download the data. So this team section which you are seeing it is also not coming outside. It is I have configured here inside the LiteLLM. So here in LiteLLMs, you can see the teams. I have created these teams, and inside these teams, you can see how many users are there and how many models are attached towards that team. So if I go to edit team, you can see this many models they can use. They have access for it, and what are the member permissions are there, who are the members, all of it you can see. And what are the virtual keys that we have created for that use. Okay, now moving forward, where is slide? Rate limiting and quotas, as I explained, we have across the whole proxy per model deployment, per virtual keys. You can see per users have different virtual keys, per applications have different virtual keys. So these virtual keys are used for as an API key for per user per model. Okay. Then so comes to the Redis part. So for cutting the latency and slash cost by serving cached completions for repeated models, we are using Redis. So Redis we are using as an cache, which provides us this futures, namespacing per key user and all of those things. So instead of drilling database directly, it Redis is going to be act as a middleware, and it is going to, if the Redis has the data, if Redis has cached it, it is get those data from the Redis instead of going through the database. So latency drop on cache hit, cost reduction on repeat traffic, all of those things it Redis gives us. Observability and logging. Every request, response, tokens count, all the things you are seeing that LiteLLM also provides us. But if you want to use, it also provides built-in integrations with this many platforms. So either you can integrate with Slack, Sentry, Datadog, S3 Logs, Postgres, OpenTelemetry. Most of them, I think all of them are open source only. So Langfuse you are going to learn, you can also integrate with the Langfuse. So what is logged? Request, response, tokens, cost, latency, identity, everything. So it supports that. And auth, virtual keys and teams, as I showed you, it issues scoped API keys for users, apps and teams without exposing your provider credentials. Per key model access, per key spend cap, per key RPM, TPM tokens. Auto rotation, if you want to key rotate, you can rotate it easily. You can create any new keys at any point of time, and you can also delete old keys if it is not are getting used. Now coming to the safety part, we know that most of the times somebody can misuse their AIs, right? So if the user doesn't know, some of the users doesn't know how to use AI properly, they can expose some of the sensitive keys, sensitive details which they shouldn't, or they will abuse the model, or they will write some harmful things, or they will ask advice from the model about some illegal things. So in order to protect that, we have implemented some of the guardrails into our LiteLLM models. So it has toxicity, hate scoring, and all of those guardrails into it, so that it protects the users and also it protects the interface. So how we implement those guardrails? So here there is a guardrail monitor. You can see, you can also see how many evaluation it did, how many requests it blocked, how many passes it does. Till now we do not had occurred such incident right now, but if we do, it will block it. But how do we implement this guardrail? So if I go to the settings again, you can see router settings. In router settings, if you scroll up, it's not router, let me see where it is. It should be, there is guardrails. Okay, so in guardrails, there is a section in guardrails. You will see what are the guardrails are there. So there are three guardrails we have implemented: insult and personal attack, harmful and self-harm, toxic and abusive languages. Okay, so if anyone is using something insults or personal attacks, it is going to block that. Toxic and abusive language, it is all going to block it. So these are the guardrails. It is a LiteLLM. LiteLLM also gives us pre-inbuilt guardrails, so we can add provider guardrail, or we can also create custom code for the guardrail. If we do add provider guardrail, LiteLLM provides us the guardrail too. We can check for LiteLLM as a judge, and it also gives us, and we can save it. So we are using currently LiteLLM providers guardrails only for saving saving from the abusive personal attacks or those requests which is not legal or not healthy. And Apart from that, we have beyond chat. So you have seen chat models, right? There are multiple models which we have. Image generation is also there, speech to text, text to speech, vision, and all of those things. So if I want to give you a demo about the image model, we have, I will go to the playground. I will do image generation type. I will select ChatGPT image latest as an image model. Now I will tell it to generate a image of a white color dog. To test it out whether it is able to generate that image or not. It is going to take a little bit of time, but it is going to generate an image of a dog with the specifics which I have given. And you can see the image generations there. Till then it is generating. We'll see what else is there. So speech to text also, you can see I have showed you the demo in my this. When I write a text, it first give me a response and it starts speaking about it, right? So that is text to speech, and same way we have a speech to text as well. So depends upon the models, what model supports we are using it for that. And moving forwards, we have uh, uh, streaming tools and async things. OpenAI tool schema has the canonical format, auto-translated for Anthropic, Gemini, Mistral. Parallel tool called supports native structured outputs, JSON mode normalized. All those things, and all the tokens, latency tracked and logged. So everything which is going through LiteLLM, all of the things are tracked. We can see at any logs, at any point of time, at any field request, at any point of time. So I showed you the, we can also connect with the tools. That's what the presentation is telling. Any tools we can add and search it. And the logs, I have told you, we can see these logs. Also, we can filter it out based on the success, failure, based on the team, based on the key allies, end user, everything, based on the error code too. So it gives us that much transparency and visibility. So admin UI built-in web dashboard for keys, teams, models, spans, and audit logs. And the deployment options, you can run it anywhere in your laptop to production cluster. Either you can install as an Python package and embed in an app, or you can self-host it in Docker or Docker Swarm or Kubernetes if you want. And there is also LiteLLM cloud, which you can use, which is managed by them. Quick start in 60 seconds from zero to multi-provider. Either you can write pip install LiteLLM and this amount of code and it will start, or either you can proxy like this. You can add the configurations like this. Key model name is ChatGPT 4.0. This is the model which it is going to use, GPT 4.0, and this is the API key for that model. And add your configuration to a config YAML file and give that to the LiteLLM, and it will automatically loads that configuration during the runtime. So that's it, guys. You can provide your feedback at the given link. Hope you liked the lecture. If you have any doubts, feel free to reach out to me. So I think I explained you pretty much what are the models, how we are going to use the models. This UI which you are seeing is an admin UI. So yeah, our dog has been written. So it generates an image of a white color dog. Okay. So we can test it out based on the endpoints here. And also currently, if you see here, we have, as I am an admin, I can see the admin settings and all of those things. I can configure those of the things. Some of the options aren't going to available to you because you are not going to be admin for that user, but we are going to add you as an admin in playtest so you can play around with it. But you can see that the users are internal user. They can create, delete, or view the things, but they are not going to able to see all of the graphs or usage and all of those things. So it has different types of roles and permissions too, which inbuilt it provides us. We can just invite the user and we can select any of the role to the user. Any doubts? I think I have given a lot of things to you. I guess there will be a lot of doubts to be there, I guess. Yeah, Ishan.
How exactly can we interface Cloudflare R2 database with this?
Cloudflare R2 database is a different thing. What do you mean by how to interface that? I don't get it.
Well, because yesterday in the secure chart architecture, we saw that all the chats are stored in an R2 database, and then that can be accessed by the LiteLLM. So I wanted to know where exactly can you add them?
I'm not seeing anyone request. Can you repeat the question again?
Yesterday, when we were in the session of secure chat architecture,
Okay.
so over there that whatever like conversations that we are having with the model
Mm-hmm.
actually stored in an R2 database, and that is connected to Lite LLM. So I wanted to know where exactly can we connect that from here.
R2 database is not connected to LiteLLM. How does R2 database is going to be connected to LiteLLM?
Then how can it access the previous chats?
LiteLLM is a totally different thing. Ishan, LiteLLM is provide us unified API which allows us basically to talk with the AI models. So any of the applications which you are hosting, you can provide the LiteLLM base URL and API key to it so that it allow to connect to the LiteLLM. But R2 bucket, I don't think so. It is connected to the LiteLLM.
Must be something different.
Yeah, I guess you have mixed it up.
Kaysan, I think that he's talking about the gateway pass. You have given the blueprint, right? In that they have shown how that Light LLM and other core components are connected.
Okay. But he's not talking about that. He's talking about yesterday's secure chat, I guess, lecture. He's talking about something different. Anyways, you guys are getting sidetracked. So we'll keep like that is a total different concept. This is a total different concept. I want to hear the doubts about regarding light LLM concept basically. So do you guys have any doubts about that? Like how we are using it, why we are using it, what is the use case of it, and all of those things. Like, did you understand all of those things?
Can you explain caching once again, please?
Caching, the thing is that if you, I don't know whether you know it or not, Redis provides the caching, it stores the data into the RAM. So the thing is that if there are multiple requests are happening at once, we do not want directly to go to the database, right? That's why we also creates API. So API will going to coordinate with the database and going to send you the result. The request will never happen directly to the API. It went to from the directly happened to the database. It went to the API and then get to the database, right? The thing is that with some with these applications we have APIs, but that APIs is not enough. The thing is, uh, if we have some multiple requests or multiple connections, sometimes the connection is idle, and due to which it provides very difficulties if we see at the large scale. So at the large scale, there will be a lot number of the requests, a lot of people are using it, and due to this, the database get trigger this data hemorrhage, which means that it gets overhead with those requests, amount of requests. So instead of directly drilling the database with those amount of requests, what we do, we store the cache in the Redis. So it stores the data in the Redis. Suppose you visited a website, right? And website is going to store a cookie, a certain amount of data of you. Whenever you visit those website, it will not going to go to the website again and show you the data, right? It is going to show you the cache data which it stores. Why it does? For the same reason. Because if it is going to go to the website with your request, there are so many people who are going to use that website, and this website will not able to handle that amount of request at a time. So that's why from everywhere, if you see, we have cache. And in order to protect database and in order to handle those amount of requests, we are using Redis and Redis cache here. Understood?
Yes, yes.
Any doubts? Rishika, all good? Khyati, all good? Your reactions are saying me something different. Come on, Rishika, tell me. Good, not good?
Yes, sir, it's still good, but I'll go through the PPT once again, and if I find something, I'll reach you out.
Yeah, so the thing is that it has so many features, functions, and capabilities. It is very hard to track. So I can understand that some of the things will go up to your head. But the basic thing is that this is an unified API which provides us multiple model providers which we can use. So it provides us an unified API, which means we do not need to go anywhere else. We can just connect with the LiteLLM, and LiteLLM will allow us to connect with multiple entities. Either it can be Google, either it can be Gemini, either it can Google Gemini is saying only, OpenAI, Claude, everything, Anthropic, and all of those things. So it is just a single place where we can connect with all of the models. And then it gives us a this transparency about the tokens, cost, and all of those things. So thing is that for most of the company, this is very much important if they are able to see who is using what and what is the cost of that, so that they can optimize it and they can use it efficiently. Ankit, do you have any questions, doubts?
I think like you explained it pretty good, but it was a lot of information. So if anything slipped my mind, I'll come back to it later.
Sure, sure. Yeah, I think it shouldn't be taken to the one session. Actually, it has a lot of things to be covered, but I need to cover a lot of things. That's why I took it into this session. But if you guys have any doubts, you will reach out to me. I will definitely explain it better, because you are guys doesn't heard about it and it's just your first time. It is going to take some little time to sync it up, all of those things. But once you are familiar with this UI and all of those things, it is very easy to understand and easy to use. Vaishnavi, Renuka, any doubts? No? Garvit?
I have a doubt in one thing. Like, if the request is similar time,
Uh-huh.
so the light LLM died, it goes to the API for a similar request 2 times or a single time only.
Based on the who is requesting that. If it is a different user, it will go. But if you are the person who is requesting it and it is the same time, it will not go. So depend upon who is sending that request. But the thing is that if that request and the answer is stored in the Redis and it has the similar request, so it will not go to the database or not to the LiteLLM. It will get the response back from the Redis. So it will also save your token and save cost, save money, save time, all of those things. Anyone? Any doubts? All clear? Vaishnavi?
Kisan, suppose we are using multiple models for different responses. Like, will the chat history be accessed by all the models, or it will vanish as we change the models in the UI?
No, it will not vanish. So let me share my screen. I will show you. So here it also provides us to test it out, something called as playground, right? Where we can test the models. Now I have used a image model here, right? ChatGPT image.
Yeah.
If I click on suppose Gemini, I need to change the endpoint. This is comes under chat completion. Then Gemini, if I select Gemini latest, I will say, hey, it's telling me while he's taking that into the consideration. So sometimes model hallucinates. See, so it has the chat history of the chat GPT-2 and Gemini 2, and you can also see from here it has Gemini and it's chat GPT. Unless until you clear it by yourself, it will be there.
And like previous response we generated using ChatGPT. So if in the next query, if we ask the previous about the previous context using different models,
Yeah, that will also work. You see it right
Okay.
now, Lina, that he was thinking he provides me this, right? I thought I will generate an image. If you see here, if I say hey to Gemini,
yeah,
what it says that I thought I will generate an image of a fluffy white dog, right? But
okay,
as it is not an image model, it didn't. But the thing is that it has the memory of that previous response to.
okay.
Okay.
Kaysan, can we compare models in this?
For comparing the model response, you need to use LangFuse. We can't compare the model response here, apparently. So that's why it supports multiple integrations with different tools. So you can use LangFuse to compare it. I guess Shriram will have that lecture. He will explain you how to compare the model inputs and output responses there with multiple different types of prompts or with different types of models too. Interesting. You guys are asking me some nice questions. Who else? Anshuman?